Hey guys, welcome to the NFL Rumors Quick Hits. We really are glad to have you for this special episode. What we're talking about today, we kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, was the salary cap and the moves that we'll see the teams make, the salary cap casualties. So, really glad everybody could listen in today. Definitely means a lot, and it really helps us if you go through and watch the whole video. Give us a like, tell us a comment, maybe even something you'd like us to cover. We really like to know that because we're all about making you happy for sure, and getting you the coverage that you want to hear about as well. As some of the stuff that we're covering already. So we're really glad for that. And as we was getting ready to make the video today, interesting that we had a cap casualty. We had a couple cap casualties yesterday, which was Taylor Lewan was a big one. We also had a big one, which was Robert Woods of the Titans. Taylor Lewan was one of the guys that was on our list as a cap casualty, so this kind of happened a little bit early. This was actually one I wasn't expecting to be honest with you, because the salary cap saving was only $5 million, so I really didn't think this could possibly be one, but it was. So the Rams actually released Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner played really well actually last season. I think Bobby Wagner will definitely have some suitors out there. If he decides to keep on playing, I really feel Bobby Wagner will get out there and have some suitors for some teams. So if your team needs a good middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner could be the way to go. I would imagine teams that has some of that Seattle creed would definitely be looking at that has worked with Bobby Wagner in the past, that's got that relationship with him. So very interesting to see where Bobby Wagner ends up. But we got to look at the news today. That was a big one as we got ready to start the show today. So if you've not heard about it, that's a pretty big move today. So I want to start off by, we've been previewing the positions each week as possible the best paid at that position. Not that they would release the one of the players there, but just so you could see what your team the payout was for some of the cap number for some of those people right now. And we want to dive in and start straight up diving into things of some possible salary cap casualties that might happen. And we want to start off by looking at the quarterback situation. And my first one I want to talk about is the Tennessee Titans' Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill cap number is $36 million. The Titans can save a great deal releasing Tannehill. So this one starts our list on the quarterbacks. It's a salary cap casualty. The next one is a no-brainer in my opinion. It's going to be the Colts and Matt Ryan. It's going to save them a lot of money. It's a $35 million cap number. Matt Ryan, I look to get on a veteran team, maybe like San Francisco or something like that, and see if he could, help mentor one of the guys or help him see if he could possibly be on a team that might win a Super Bowl. So, as we've been talking about the quarterbacks, we got Ryan Tannehill, we got Matt Ryan. The next one on our list is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz definitely is going to take a back seat. Washington is not going to pay him any longer. His cap number is $26.1 million. So, the Commanders have already said that they're going with the young quarterback from NC. So definitely Carson Wentz won't have a place there. We'll be looking for another new team, as it'll make will make his fourth team now. So Carson Wentz definitely could be looking at a backup role now, for sure. So looking at that, that's one of our other salary cap casualties. As the quarterback list continue, we actually have Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is not making a huge lot of money when you talk about quarterbacks. He's at $15.6 million, but the Saints really are invested in Derek Carr. So are the Jets. So the Saints are looking for maybe Baker Mayfield as well. So when we're looking at that, that's our next salary cap casualty we have listed is Jameis Winston of the Saints, 15.6 million cap number. Next, we're going to stay in the division, and Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota, there's a lot of scrutiny around him, how he didn't want to finish the season. We understand his wife had a baby for sure, but there was some other things going on there too. So Marcus Mariota has a $14.5 million cap number, and we look for him to be a salary cap casualty of the Atlanta Falcons. All right. Next, let's talk about Mitchell Trubisky. Steelers have said that they like to hold on to him, but Mitchell Trubisky's made a couple comments that he maybe chose the wrong team. And I feel that Mitchell Trubisky will be a salary cap casualty. His cap number is $10.6 million. I do not think that he'll remain there. So that is what we're looking at the quarterback positions currently. I think there's some ones down here in the back end that possibly could be when you're talking about Nick Foles. You're talking about Tyrod Taylor could possibly be. So, but we're going to stick with those tops right now. With those top positions at the quarterback. Next, I'm going to go to running back. I know this might surprise you. The Cowboys have said that they want to keep Ezekiel Elliott. I think Ezekiel Elliott, if he does not take a restructure, will be a salary cap casualty. He makes the most money at the running back position at $16.7 million. So Alvin Kamara, to me, could be a salary cap casualty, not because of his performance, but because of some off-the-field stuff. Saints are trying to save money, so I think he will be one to watch for a salary cap casualty. He's the third most paid running back cap-wise at $16 million. Joe Mixon could possibly be somebody in a trade or a cap casualty. The Bengals could end up trying to save some room at the quarterback position there, or running back position. So his cap number is at $12.7 million. So he's one that we say definitely someone to watch. So that's really a look at the running back positions. I've got another one for you. I'm going to release later tonight, actually, about some news about the Lions, but we'll get to that. We're just still checking up on some things there, but we feel some good breaking news for you about the Lions. So looking at wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, not a salary cap casualty, but will be a trade. He has the second highest value at $30.7 million. So we think DeAndre Hopkins will move on, more than likely to a team like Tennessee, the Giants, the Ravens, one of those three. Brandon Cooks, probably getting traded to release some of the salary cap, $26.4 million what he gets paid, the fourth highest on the list. Look for the Texans to move on from him. Look for maybe Dallas, Green Bay to be interested there. Looking down our list, I don't think Mike Evans gets released. I know a lot of people's talked about it. He's got a really high dead cap. So I don't think he's going anywhere, guys. Keenan Allen, I think he's 50-50 shot. He's $21.7 million cap number. 50-50 shot of going. One that I do think that will get released is Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay, $21.4 million, scheduled to make cap number this year. Definitely will be released by the Giants. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to tell you one that you might want to watch is the Rams are really making moves right now. And Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson's $18 million. He's one of the top tier as far as receiver wise out there. So I would say really, really watch there for Allen Robinson. Michael Thomas is one as well. He's on my bottom tier, but he's done some restructuring to help the Saints out. I think he's 50-50 shot there, but Michael Thomas could be somebody that the Saints could move on from. He's $13.3 million on his cap number. Going to move to tight end. Tight end. I feel the Patriots will get rid of both of their tight ends and kind of retool the tight end position. If they keep one, it'll be Hunter Henry. He makes $15 million. Patriots had the second and third most money tied into the tight ends, and they had $32 million altogether in their tight end position. They got to make some moves here. Jonnu Smith will definitely be a salary cap casualty. Hunter Henry could be. So keep on the lookout for those, right? Looking down some of the other ones, CJ Usma is I think he's on a fence. He makes 10.3 million. I know he didn't have a good season last year, but come on now, he did have some tough quarterback play as well. So he's 50-50 shot on there to me. So not a lot of tight ends I feel that's out there that's going to get released. Cardinals, Zach Ertz could possibly be there, but I'm not. I'll say 50-50 shot on Zach Ertz there because he's making 12.6 million. He's in the top 10 of as far as tight ends. Taysom Hill, 13.9 million, making a lot of money, and he's got a lot of different roles there. But he does have a lot of dead cap, so I do think that they'd have to eat a lot of dead cap to get rid of him. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. But the Patriots are my number one team of getting rid of tight ends this offseason. Looking at the next position is we're going to talk about interior defensive line. I know we posted that a little bit. I think about it this morning. Leonard Williams makes $32.2 million. I do think if he doesn't take a reduction, that the Giants could look to trade him or could be a cap casualty because he makes a lot of money in that position. So if they cannot get him to restructure, he could be a possible cap casualty or a trade to relieve some of that space. DeForest Buckner, I know that the team really likes him at $19.7 million. I think DeForest Buckner is one of the best defensive tackles around, right? But looking at that, I think we gotta really pay really close attention to this. Is the Bears could be somebody that would really like DeForest Buckner in a trade. If the coach are trying to trade up for that number one, DeForest Buckner might be somebody that they could put in there to really make the deal pop to get that number one pick. I would say definitely. I've heard a lot of rumors around DeForest Buckner being moved for the number one pick with some movement. So keep on the lookout there. That's some things to watch. So I want to move on to edge rushers. Joey Bosa makes more money than anybody with his cap number, $31 million. But Joey Bosa won't get moved for sure because of his dead cap money. But I do think one person will get moved off the Chargers. That's Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, I do think will be a salary cap casualty. He's making $27.4 million. Unless he has a massive reduction to his salary, I look for the team to either trade him or him be a salary cap casualty. Frank Clark, I look also for him to be a salary cap casualty or a trade to reduce salary. Looking at DeMarcus Lawrence, possibly he's got 50-50 shot in my view. Possibly moved on to reduce salary. I think that could be somebody they look at. I do think Leonard Floyd could be somebody else that the Rams look at for possible move on a salary cap casualty. He's making $22 million cap number wise. So that could be somebody that the Rams can move on for. Titans have made some big moves. Bud Dupree could be a name to watch. 50-50 shot in my opinion. 50 for being a salary cap casualty. Chandler Jones didn't really produce for the Raiders last year. He could possibly be a salary cap casualty. He makes $19.3 million this upcoming season. So definitely, these are some names to look out for. Now we're going to talk about linebacker. Looking at some of the cap numbers, Shaq Thompson makes more than anybody at the linebacker position, but I don't think the Panthers are going anywhere there. C.J. Mosley as well makes a lot of money. Make a lot of sense if the Jets want to make a move there, to move on from Mosley and pull up Bobby Wagner. That makes a lot of sense financially if you want to do it like that. So very interesting there. Bobby Wagner was scheduled to make $12.5 million, but the cap saving was only $5 million. So that happened today for him. I don't see a lot of other movement on our top of the list. We could have some bottom tier players that might get released, but on the top of, I don't really see a whole lot. Safety wise, look at safety Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is intriguing, right? He makes $18.1 million. The Seahawks in their safety position pay $36 million So I could really see Jamal Adams possibly being moved in a trade or a salary cap casualty there. So I'd say just to keep an eye out on that one. Um, some other safeties. Uh, just looking down the list here, look pretty good. Like a lot of the other safeties look pretty good. I mean, pay wise, I mean, there's not a lot making over that 10 million range. You got Buda Baker, you got Eddie Jackson, Minshew Fitzpatrick, Quandre Diggs, Justin Simmons. I don't see a lot of movement there right now, unless something changes. So I'm going to move on now, guys, to cornerback. Cornerback, I think you could see a lot of movement here. A lot of movement, guys, on cornerback. I get that feeling that some things could happen there. So when we're looking at that, Darius Slay makes more than anybody. He's not going anywhere. But Jalen Ramsey definitely could go somewhere. Could do a trade or a salary cap casualty. He's got the second most highest cap number at $25 million. So he could be somebody that the team looks to move. Byron Jones is another one that's on my list. I think he'll be a salary cap casualty. The cap number is 18.3 million. A lot of people think Carlton Davis might be. I'm not so sure on that. I think if the Buccaneers could get some reductions from some other places, that he could definitely stay. He's a really good corner. J.C. Jackson's coming off a good year at 17 million. I don't really see him going anywhere. Maybe Ronald Darby could be somebody. He's making 12.6 million. I could see Ronald Darby possibly being a salary cap casualty. William Jackson for sure will be a salary cap casualty for the Steelers. His cap number is 12.1 million. So definitely could be someone there. I don't really see any other ones in that high tier range at the moment. That's really what we're covering right now is your high tier range. So that is something that we're really looking at today. But now we're going to talk about the offensive line, right? Hard positions to get good players at. So, number one paid is Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil wants to reset the market. He could definitely be traded. I could definitely see him being traded in a deal this offseason and maybe letting someone else pay him. But he is a really good offensive tackle, though. And he could be D'Amico Ryans, Trent Williams. So, we'll just have to see how that works out because Laramie Tunsil could he's a team captain, so he could end up really staying if the Texans want to give him that pay that he desires. That could be something that happens as well. I think David Bakari, got tongue tied there. David Bakari might get released. His cap number is 28 million. I could see the Packers making a move there, to be honest. So I would just say that's somebody that you could really watch for. Tyron Smith could be another one for the Cowboys that could get moved. So I would just say keep an eye out there. Dwayne Brown for the Jets, 11.2 million. I could say I would say really really possibly look out for that as well. Donovan Smith for the Bucks, 17.9 million cap number. He's somebody that's also on our salary cap casualty possible list. All right, guys, we're going to go on to left guard. I hope you're enjoying this today. Our team done a lot of work putting this in today, putting the salary cap casualties in there for you. If you enjoy it, smash a like button. Let us know you like the content. And make sure that you turn your notifications on. And we always thank you for following NFL Rumors on Twitter. Looking at the left guard position, some pretty good players there. I don't see a lot of movement. We got a top tier, which we have Joe Tunney, Anders Pete, Lakeland Thomason, Joe Batonio, Cody White here, Quentin Nelson. I don't see a lot of movement there at left guard right now. Looking at center, Frank Rangro is the highest paid one. He's really a GM for the Lions. Ryan Jensen could possibly be a move. We'll have to wait and see. He could possibly be a salary cap casualty. Looking at, we got Jason Kelsey, if he retires, definitely, that's going to free up some space for the Eagles. I hope Jason comes back for another year, though. But at the top level, you got Mitch Morse, Ryan Kelly, Corey Linsley. All these people are pretty good stay. I think Ryan Jensen might be the only one that we could see moved on. Right guard. The top right guard paid cap number wise. Brandon Sheriff for the Jaguars did a really good job. Zach Martin, one of the best. White Tiller, very good as well. They have Gabe Jackson there. James Daniels for the Steelers. Austin Corbett for the Panthers. Not seeing a whole lot of movement. Maybe we might have some low tier there at right guard. Right tackle, the money position, right? Taylor Moton is making $24 million. The best. Lane Johnson, one of the best in the business at 24. Brian O'Neill at 19. Braden Smith making 19 as well. I know they're disappointed there with the offensive line for the Colts. This will be interesting to see if the Colts decide to move any of the pieces on the offensive line there. Titus Howard making $13 million. Trent Brown's intriguing, making $12.2 million. Ryan Ramczyk was one of the highest paid linemen. He took a salary reduction. He's down to $11 million now. So very interesting there. Be interesting too if the Bengals stick with La'el Collins. If I know he got injured, but we're going to see if they'll stick with him. He has a $9.7 million cap number, so it'll be very interesting there. Morgan Moses is at $5 million. He could be a lower tier person to look out for. So, but there are a lot of right tackles there in free agency, right? A lot of these people are in free agency. You got Mike McKinstry of San Francisco is a huge offensive lineman to look for in free agency. So when you're looking at that, there's a ton of good free agents out there as well. And we want to talk about just really quick before we kind of get going today is we went over those possible salary cap casualties with you, but I also got a list here that me and the team put together. This is our top free agents. So Orlando Brown, the Chiefs say that they're going to franchise more than likely. So that is one of the top offensive tackles. Lamar Jackson, of course, one of the best. Today they talked about he wanted a lot of guarantee more than Deshaun Watson, so it'll be very interesting what happens there. Jamel Dean, likely to get paid somewhere else than Tampa Bay. Marcus Davenport, likely to get paid somewhere else than the Saints. Saquon Barkley, it's looking like he might go somewhere else rather than the Giants. A lot of people talking about Miami and Buffalo right now. Josh Jacobs, I think he'll get franchised by the Raiders. Daniel Jones, I think the Giants is going to franchise him. Derek Carr, I think he's going to go to the Jets or the Saints. This is just my opinion on this one. Geno Smith, I think Seattle will franchise him. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he'll end up with the Raiders. It's just my gut feeling there. The Raiders will be a top choice in my opinion. If all fails and the Jets can't get Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, I think they might lean on Jimmy too. So, talking about that, Bobby Wagner actually jumps to one of the top on the list for me in our movement and before we made the video today. Bobby Wagner actually is in my top 20 free agents now. And I think he'll have a lot of interest, guys. Jacoby Myers is listed as one of my top 3 wide receivers. I think Jacoby Myers, I know New England wants him back, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders might throw some money his way as well. Teaming back with Devontae Adams, it could be interesting. Caleb McGarry could be somebody that Atlanta might tag. I could see that. Mike McKinstry. A lot of people say the Bears have a lot of interest in McKinstry, so it'll be interesting to see. Bradbury will test the open market. James Bradbury will definitely get paid somewhere. It'll be interesting to see where. Jesse Bates, rumored that he might get franchised. If he doesn't, I could see him getting a good bag somewhere else. Deron Payne is rumored to be franchised from Washington. If not, he'll have a lot of suitors. Dalvin Tomlinson will have a lot of suitors as well from Minnesota as he hits free agency. So it'll be interesting to see there. Odell Beckham Jr. is another person on my list. I feel that the Giants are a team to look at. The Bills are a team to look at. The Cowboys, all teams to look at there. Javon Hargrave is going to be definitely somebody that the teams are going to be interested in. I think you might even look at the Cardinals, be interested in Javon Hargrave there. Levante David, the Bucks want him back, but he could get a lot of suitors, so Levante David Bucks are kind of strapped salary cap wise. So be on the lookout there. Pat Pete, I know the Saints really like to take a look at him to go with the Honey Badger for sure. Patrick Peterson could be a really good person to go fill on a championship caliber team. Maybe the Bills. Just throwing that out there. Jordan Poyer, a lot of people thinks he could get franchised. He might not get franchised. Who knows on that one because they have Terrell Edmonds as well. Jordan Poyer will definitely get paid somewhere if he tests free agency there. So that's a look at our top 25 when we're looking at the top 25 free agents out there. So I really do hope you enjoyed the show today. Our team put a lot together and put. I know it's a bigger podcast than we usually have, guys, for the quick hits, but we wanted to put something really good for you today as far as possible salary cap casualty and a look at some of the top free agents out there. But we're going to be doing more and more of that with Tanner as well as we do the weekly podcast show there. So we're very happy to have you again. Thank you for all the support. You're amazing. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. Thank you for everything you do for our Twitter account. I really do appreciate it. And guys, make sure that you are following us. Make sure you got your notifications on. This is the time to have the notifies on for NFL Rumors and the YouTube channel because we got a lot of content coming out right now. And thank you again for giving us the chance to give you your NFL news. And we really do appreciate you, and because we know your time is valuable. And thank you so much for everything. And again, this is your friends at NFL Rumors wishing you to have a blessed day. Thank you so much, guys.